New York is now the largest state in the nation with a K through 12 bell-to-bell cell phone ban because of all of you.
So that's New York Governor Kathy Hochul earlier this year announcing the state's commitment to keeping classrooms distraction-free. Come September, students will be required to keep their cell phones, smartwatches, and tablets turned off and stored away during the entirety of the school day.
Yeah, that's New York State joining the growing list of nearly 24 states nationwide that already have cell phone bans or restrictions for students in K through 12. In fact, according to new research, 74% of adults saying this, they would support banning middle and high school students from using cell phones during class. That's up from 68% last fall. Now, under New York's new bell-to-bell policy, that's what it's called, the students will only be able to use internet-enabled devices to and from school, not during lessons, lunch, or breaks.
There are some exceptions, however, for students who need devices for medical reasons, and each school is responsible for providing ways for parents to reach their kids in case of emergencies. Now, some schools in the state have already implemented the cell phone ban, including one middle school near Albany, where the 8th grader shared her experience with the ban. Listen here.
Since the cell phone ban, the lunchroom has become much more social. Instead of everyone being glued to their screens, students are actually talking to each other. Friendships have deepened, and there's a noticeable increase in laughter and conversations.
Now, with the rollout, the city is allocating this $25 million for implementing the ban at more than 1,600 public schools across New York City's 5 boroughs specifically. Individual schools will be allowed to choose how they plan to secure phones using lockers or the pouches or cubbies.
In addition, a new teen council consisting of students from across the state will help advise lawmakers on how to implement the ban in a way that works for both students and staff. The council's scheduled to provide feedback and suggestions to make sure that young folks have a voice in how the policy plays out in school.
So we'll bring in our special guest here. We have Nan Hayworth back with us, former New York Congresswoman, a doctor, also a board member of the Independent Women's Forum. And Jarrett Stepman is a columnist at the Daily Signal and the author of the book, The War on History. Good to see you, both of you here on this topic. Obviously, this is something that there's a super majority of support here when it comes to parents wanting to see students being able to put down the cell phone. Nan, talk to us about that.
Absolutely. And Jonathan Haidt's one of the scholars who's done very thorough and persuasive work about this. Social media, which is accessed through any means, but of course at school through cell phones, no doubt, during school hours, has had a noticeable documented effect, a detrimental effect on the mental health of students. So I laud this. Hooray. This is one of the ways, one of the few areas, sadly, but definitely strongly agree with Governor Hochul on this initiative. And I don't think it'll be, I think that 8th grader is going to speak for the majority of her fellow students who will find the change salutary.
Yeah, I was going to say, when I get my screen time, report at the end of the week, it's never good. And you think about those hours spent on your phone that you could perhaps be socializing with other folks. But Jarrett, $25 million for 1,600 public schools. How much does it cost to purchase these little pouches that are secure throughout the day?
Yeah, that part is a little bit dicey to me. I'm not sure exactly what they're spending money on. If anything, it just seems like there's a ban now on this technology.
You've got the lockers already.
Yeah. I mean, it's exactly. But, look, technology has been oftentimes a boon and a benefit even inside the classroom. But I think there's been kind of a national, maybe global reset on how we deal with technology, especially with children, how their brains develop their socialization. I think we know many young people who haven't been very well socialized, partially because they're hooked on technology, on their cell phones. And look, I admit I'm a little bit of a hypocrite on this. I'm on my cell phone probably far too much. I need to set a better example for my daughter. But I think a lot of parents are saying, you know what, we need to step in, make this better so that children don't have attention problems and don't have these problems in the classroom, create disruptions. I think it's a great thing. It's a bipartisan thing.